Working, no?
Yeah, is it working? Can you hear me?
Yes. There is tea, so please feel free to get your tea while listening to the conversation. Uh, Paul, it is. I even don't have word how to describe like how I'm feeling right now to be with you, next to you, and having this conversation. I feel really honored. And thank you very much for accepting to be with us and give us permission to show your films and also for this conversation. And first of all, I would like to uh, thank you for being here with us. And it's an honor. Thank you.
Well, thank you as well, though, because it's also an honour to be here in your lovely room. It's an honour just to be in Nepal and to it's just so amazing.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Fortunately, I was walking in Karuna Beach last July in Tasmania. I was there for a talk to give in the university, and I was walking, and then I was introduced to Paul, and we started talking, and then connection with the climbing and mountain film festival, which is going to happen in December, and his film is will be shown there, and so many other things, and also he was coming here, so I really wanted to take this opportunity to have him here at Nexus, and also really to share his story, and also to inspire with his story how he is an inspirational, determined, and the brave man. And I feel, as I'm again saying, I feel so honored to be next to you, to know you, and to have a friend like you in my life. It's really inspirational. Paul, uh, first of all, you are very happy to say yourself as a disabled person or individual, how you turned out. And at the moment, the politically correct, when we talk about to say disabled itself is not appropriate or not politically correct things. So here now, people usually say differently able people. And would you like to, say why you like to say like as a disabled, or how
Yeah.
you kind of like to, um, explain that, so that we will be talking or saying this disabled again and again. So I wanted to make sure clear to people, like we are not
Yeah.
just trying to be politically incorrect, but like
Mm.
how you look at that word itself and how you associate with your identity itself.
So yeah, in Australia, the politically correct way to say disabled person is person with a disability, or we are people with disabilities, um, and differently abled is also said in Australia also. Um, but I actually really like. I think that I am a disabled person. It's part of my identity. And to say people with disabilities seems to me to say that you're separate from your identity.
Mhm.
And so I actually like the word disabled person. It, it, it doesn't mean that I'm doesn't mean that I'm nothing else but a disabled, but disabled. It also,
Part of something. Yeah. Mhm. I think we all have some kind of disability, which is some way, sometimes it is so visible and sometimes invisible. And looking at some visible things, we kind of try to coin it and say things. And for someone who is hidden, maybe people don't say it. I mean, we all have, we can't do everything, so there are something it is possible, something it is not possible what we do.
exactly.
And so in that sense, I don't think we have to be embarrassed or like, or feel inferior in that
No.
context. And in that regard, I mean, after your accident, and also after how you recover, how you hold on to yourself as who you are, with accepting some part of your body became disabled, and that is so much courageous, and also it gives like the whole society, whole world kind of a example. You became an example for the people, and you inspire so many people. In that sense, would you like to talk a little bit about your accident? What happened before the accident? Before the accident and after the accident, your
Yes.
life and your personality, how you grew within that.
Yeah, yeah, because it wasn't explained in the film, really, was it? But I was a professional climber. I went all over the world climbing mountains. I was a mountain guide, and and then I had this accident on the totem pole 21 years ago now, and and I I was abseiling down, and and a rock hit me from 25 meters up and split my head open. Um, my my then girlfriend, there was just me and her down in this remote place, and she's called Celia, and she was up there, and she had to haul me 25 meters up, sorry, 30 meters on a on a on a single 9 millimeter rope, and her hands were bleeding at the end of it, and she actually hauled me all the way up this wall to a ledge halfway up the totem pole, that ledge that you could see.
Mhm.
Then she had to make me safe, leave me alone while she then went for help. It was in the days before mobile phones, so you couldn't just call for help.
Mhm.
So she had to leave me alone, um, get herself off the totem pole, and run 8 kilometers for help. She thought that it was the last time she was going to see me when she looked back at me down on that ledge, and and then and then she called the rescue from the campsite, and 10 hours later, after that, after the rocket hit me on the head, a helicopter came, and it was a really exciting rescue. The Neil Smith, who you saw in the film, he had to abseil down to me, clip me to his harness, abseil, abseil mean, kind of descend on a rope
Mhm.
down into a waiting boat, but the boat was going up, up and down by 2 meters against the wall,
Mhm.
and so he had, as the boat was on an upsurge, or the boat was coming up, Neil cut the rope, and we both fell into the boat, and then the boat sped to the beach where there was a helicopter waiting to take me to hospital. And I was in hospital in different hospitals for a year. Yeah.
So like the person who you were, and before the accident, and also after that coming out of hospital, like how you felt. Did you feel the same person, or you felt a totally different person? How it was?
Totally different. I mean, I spent a year in hospital. I couldn't walk for much of that time. I slowly climbed out of my wheelchair, and I couldn't talk for much of that time. I had to learn how to dress myself, feed myself, and everything that I'd known before was turned on its head. And I remember selling all my climbing equipment. I had this room full of my expedition gear. I thought I can't climb again. But that was that was a year later.
So it was really hard time, of course. I mean, I could not imagine. We were supposed to meet after 20 years of this time. So, and also you talk about that ever happened in your life as a blessing, you take it. So, would you like to explain why do you think the accident is the best thing that happened in your life?
I will, yes. First of all, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it wasn't. Well, I met this nurse in hospital, and I'll tell you what. I'll start from the beginning. Actually, so Celia, the woman that rescued me, she left me after 5 months because she couldn't cope with the stress of it all, but a BBC film crew wanted to take me down to the totem pole after a year. I did my rehabilitation in the UK. I guess I was quite a famous climber. So it was big news. My in the UK, my accident. So the BBC wanted to fly me back down to Tasmania, halfway across the world, but I was still in hospital at that point. And I rekindled my friendship with a nurse called Jane Pritchard, who and ended up marrying her, and she moved to Wales. Or we ended up getting married. She moved to Wales, and we had 2 beautiful children with her.
Elaine is here,
together,
who is 12 years,
yeah,
and who is going to make a short movie about this trip. So, which is really great. A big hand to him, Yeah.
And I've got one of these things about this head injury is that I forget what I was saying. So.
Like why this accident was the blessing for you.
Oh yeah.
How you
and it wasn't simply because of the fact that I've got two lovely kids out of it. Um, it also taught me patience by the bucket load and determination by the bucket load. Um, because most days I fall over, and you've just got to get back up, or else you can't.
Mhm.
The alternative doesn't bear thinking about.
Mhm.
So I think it taught me acceptance, how to accept what had happened to me, and that doesn't mean resignation.
Yeah. Mhm.
So resignation would mean to just be resigned to what's happened to me and then sit back. But acceptance is a different thing, really. It means that you can accept and then move on.
Mhm. That's great. I mean, what we see you as here is the person who you are with that determination and that acceptance and that patience. What you made who you are now. It's really great. And the other thing is like you were a climber, and also you loved about and you thought this is what it is like for you. And then after the accident, and you start again reclimbing. Now you are climbing too. So what is the things in that climbing that makes you, or what is the wonderful, or what is it that you loved about this climbing? What is that, the essence of that kind of keeps you drawing into it?
It's very meditative climbing.
Mhm.
You you have as soon as I guess it's like yoga, and as soon as you get off the ground, you have to hold these poses and then hold another pose and I think it so it's very meditative, and it's very mindful, because if you're not mindful, you can fall and hurt yourself. And so I I very much believe that climbing and it is a way to to better yourself almost. It's
Mhm.
and most of the time it's in a natural environment,
Mhm.
and so you're working with the natural environment, and I think that's positive.
And also, in a way, we can say it is the love for the life. If you became sleep out of that mindfulness, anything can happen.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
really the
yeah.
hope and the life, love for the life, no?
So, like the film's called "Doing
Sure.
It Scared," and
Yeah.
so I mean, I guess it is about taking risks in life, isn't it? Really.
Mhm. And what was the most favorite climbing that you have done thus far?
Yeah, I think my most memorable expedition would be in Patagonia in South America, and we were climbing this 1,200-meter vertical wall, and
1,000 meter?
yes,
Wow.
yes, and we were sleeping in this. We were sleeping in portaledges. There was no ledges, so
Yeah.
so we were sleeping in these things called portaledges. So a cross between a hammock
Yeah.
and a stretcher,
Yeah.
and they hang from a single point.
Uh-huh.
And we spent 3 weeks on this wall.
Wow. Can you believe that?
um, and some and Patagonia is really famous for its furious storms,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember at one point the portaledge was flying like a kite.
Wow.
And,
Oh,
and,
I can't even imagine it.
and that's where I really thought, well, I was terrified, and then I realized, well, you can be scared, you can be scared stiff, not scared stiff,
Yeah.
and the result will be the
The
same.
same, yeah.
Will be the same. So
Yeah.
so that's really where I developed that kind of philosophy.
Uh-huh. So, I mean, life has shown you so much ups and downs, like maybe more than, I mean, every individual kind of take obstacles or down or the up in their own relative way. But at the same time, some people can cope it, some people can't cope it, and even there is a saying like even a small stone coming into your head, if something bangs on your that head, is more bigger than the bomb next to explosion next to somewhere. So like that's how people take it. But within your life, if you look at your journey, I mean, you have seen such you know, huge obstacles every now and then. How do you take it? How do you face it? And how do you overcome from it? What makes you kind of like, uh, so strong in that sense to come over it?
I think that everybody faces huge difficulties in their life, and there's no life is easy.
Mhm.
Nobody gets
I believe so.
nobody gets an easy ride. Not even the richest, most powerful person in the world is they still face enormous struggles. I think, um, and oh no,
Yeah, how do you face the obstacle basically? I mean, it's straightforward if I ask, like,
yeah. Um, well, I think I said it in the film that by facing our fears, and especially every day,
yeah.
like like I did when I was a climber, I would face my fear every single day, and have to accept accept that I could die, and we all might die at any moment. So, but by facing that fear, it really tangible way. Yeah, that's what it really experience to face those. And I said it a good way to face fear. To make a great grace to face this. So the hardship that everybody goes through, because everybody's got the hardest times in their life.
Yeah, I believe it's not about the money, the wealth, the power, how you, or what one has, but like as a human being, living with your body, with our body, and the emotions, all these human nature, how we face it, how we kind of go it. But again, I wanted to ask, what makes you keep moving? What is that kind of pushes you to move forward and look for more adventurous thing ahead and go ahead? And what is the support systems for you that makes from within and from surrounded by or from beyond?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of support. So you might have seen that there was 10 people that helped me in that climbing of the totem pole then, and that was 18 years after my accident, I should say. But and so I think that with that support is really important for everybody, not just disabled people. And so support might be in for me this is the most important thing that I distilled from that climb. That rope that I climbed with one hand, that was my support.
Mm-hmm.
And the 10 people, and that is like a wheelchair ramp that might make a wheelchair user feel included in society, or a pair of reading glasses might make it possible to read a newspaper or sit an exam.
Mm-hmm.
With support, with the right support, everybody, not just disabled people, are capable of some quite extraordinary things, I think. And so I rely on support all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid to accept support.
That's really great. Mm-hmm. And like you have written several books, and also there are over a dozen, 12, 13 people film made on your life, your climbing and your whole expedition. So, what do you think you want to give the message to the people around the world? What do you want to say from your book or the movies? What you have been, being the center of the, somehow movie was made by someone else, but as a writer, you have been writing. So, and what is the difference between these two mediums? How you look at it?
Oh yeah, so I'm not a movie maker at all. So the films are all somebody else's imagination and creative urges.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do have some input into that
And
creation.
how
But
can you, or what messages you are giving through those movies, even though someone is making it, like, because the subject is yourself,
yeah.
and also if it is not the same, then how you are trying to give through books what you have been writing. For example, this book, Totem Pole, is one of the book which he has written, and there are so many awards you can see back of the book, and it's the life of your, from the accident to how you kind of recover. So what you are trying to give through this?
I think it's changed over the years. But at the moment, what I'm really interested in is giving a really positive image um, of, of disability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in in um, in Australia and in the US and in the UK, so in the Western countries, we've had civil rights, and we've had um, rights for females, and we've had
Human rights.
we've had marriage equality, and it is all human rights, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But now is the moment for rights for people with disabilities, and,
Yeah.
and it's actually, so it's quite an exciting time to be a disabled person in the West. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about social, um, construction of disability and the personal physical thing what you are talking about. Would you like to explain a bit about, like how
Yes.
buildings and other have
Yes.
not accepted disabled people?
Yeah.
That's why they don't have wheelchairs. They don't have accessibility
Yes.
within the certain places, certain kind of thing. How socially excluded, and
Yes.
how do we make inclusion within that, and also how it within the person, how you kind
Yeah.
of like, can you explain a bit?
So there's two models of disability. There's the social model of disability, and well, there's the medical model of disability first, which says that the disabled person has to be healed. There's something wrong with the disabled person, and 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 then there's the social model of disability says that there's nothing wrong with the disabled person. There's it's society that is at fault because I mean it's a classic example of the wheelchair ramp for a wheelchair user means that they can be included in society. For me, my brain works at half the speed. So if I get on the phone and there's an automated message from the bank or something like that, I find it very, very difficult to have time and to compute the what they're saying to me, and I can't use them. So that's just another aspect of being excluded from society. So there's a lot of other. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I would like to bring the context of Nepal or South Asian or the developing country where the situation when if someone is injured or someone became like disabled physically or in otherwise, and also I was looking at yourself and your all these adventurous, life. And I was thinking, can I imagine that the life you are, the support you have in our context? I mean, as a citizen here, we even don't have the human rights. I mean, we have been fighting for, one of the things.
yeah,
And forget about being supported. We don't have medical. I mean, my most fearful thing in my life is if, let's hope I never have to go, but if I have to go to a hospital with some kind of disease or whatever, then how can I be, survive? It's not possible. I'm not a rich person. I don't have any support from anywhere. My parents are not, I'm not from the rich family. I'm just like very, it's just like the medical, the education, everything. If you look at it's so expensive, and I get really scared in that sense. If I have to be dependent on something because there is no such support. as what I can see in the Western country and also in Australia, or whether it's in
Yeah.
US or
Yeah.
many other countries. Having said that, they are not all the best thing, but still, that thing. And so, and sometimes we talk about. I just wanted to bring some social
Yeah,
context or social political context here. So, I mean, we talk about, every day, especially if we look at in Nepal, like all youth are fleeing, or they are going to all these different countries to work, to education, to go because the hardship, what they see, what they find, and the opportunities, the kind of thing is not just there. I mean, having said that, I would not say it's absolutely new, but that's how youth are taking, that's how youth are seeing, that's why they're free. And when the accidents or something like this kind of thing happen, the how much hope, how much confidence, how much determination one can have, and um, in contrary to look at your situation, the support, the things, it's so you can proudly kind of say like how you are, and being in that privileged situation, and because you have traveled throughout the world, underdeveloped, developed, or like really poor countries, and also you are in Nepal, you have seen Nepal kind of thing. What would you like to say? The conditions, the situations, and what kind of things you think something as a human being, as a citizen of whichever country, no matter where they were lived or born, what kind of thing is the very basic thing as we need, or as we have to have,
I don't know. Firstly, I'd just like to say, I recognise how privileged I am, and that not all countries, not all countries are as rich as Australia or um, and so I do, I do, I do realise that I'm very, very lucky to be born into and I'm just the son of a builder, and so I'm not. But still, as I realise that I also have support from a socialised health system and and government welfare, and so and I know that these things only exist in a rudimentary form in Nepal and in a lot of other countries. So um, it's
yeah, I mean,
it's a problem. I don't know how to answer it
yeah,
really.
yeah. I in a way, I'm aware of that, but at the same time, how important to have social security for the people, and and the medical and the education.
Yeah.
These are all basic things, how kind of, and yeah, it's very hard in the sense like if I look or compare, or if I ask like as a citizen of being here, being yeah, in Nepal or some other country, it's the same thing, and like so far, I mean, you have traveled, you have climbed, you have all these things, and you are going to Mount Everest now, up to the Gacho Lake or
Gokuri.
Gyokuri,
Yeah.
sorry. So what are the other places that you would really wish to be, or you want to go again and again, and which place, and what else you feel like you still need to do? I mean, climbing wise, or as an expedition, or how you look
Yeah,
at
I mean, less and less do I feel like I want to get on a plane and burn lots of fossil fuels.
it?
And,
Yeah,
you
that's
know, and,
another big
you know,
problem, no? Yeah.
and so I mean,
Which place you want to visit? Like if you have to repeatedly go, or
my the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life is in India, the source of the Ganges, a place called Tapavan,
oh wow.
um, near Gangotri.
Yeah.
And that's the most beautiful place, and I'd love to go there again. I
Yeah.
only went there when as an able-bodied person
Yeah.
in 1990, and so
Yeah.
I'd love to get back there.
Yeah, for sure. So I would like to open the floor. I mean, if you have any questions, please. Yeah. Ayus?
Okay, I have a question. So you are an inspiration to us. Like if my friends long up with people, I will definitely speak about your experience with my friends as well. But I think there was this one question about like did you have anyone who was your inspiration in this time between this?
Um,
People who inspire you, or
yeah,
the place.
yes. When I growing up, I had many climbers that I admired. Um, um, and being a writer, I have a lot of a lot of well, I have certain writers that I admire and very much. Um, what about Margaret Atwood, who just won the Booker Prize? Wow, what a writer!
Mhm. Mhm. Any other questions? This is the chance.
Hi.
Um,
Uh, can you explain us what kind of thought and what kind of feelings you have when you are recovering from your accident?
oh yes, yeah. Um, when I was recovering from my accident, about I don't know, maybe 6 months in, I got very, very depressed. I had to go on medication. I was anxious, and I thought that my world was ending, my past world, and I really was uh, I was really despairing of um, of my situation. Um, and then I walked. It was only on. I walked around the rehab centre, which was at 100 meters around. Um, not like as big as this courtyard really, and then something clicked in me, and I realised that with determination, and probably the determination that I found in the mountains, to climb a mountain you have to be really determined anyway. Um, with determination, I thought, wow, maybe I could, claw back some tiny semblance, some part of the life that I'd had before, this exciting climbing life. So I I put all my energy focused all my energy into getting back on my feet and walking, and so I remember walking up some hills, some tiny hills in near my home in Wales, and then I walked up bigger and bigger hills until 7 years after my accident, I remember going on a all disabled expedition to Kilimanjaro in Africa, which is almost 6,000 meters, and that was 7 years after, so an incredibly slow recovery process, really. And Kilimanjaro is still just it's not very technical. It's not it's a walk really, but a walk up to almost 6,000 meters. So I'm still very arduous. Yeah, and so up to about 6 months, I was in a very precarious situation, and then I put all my effort into getting back on my feet again.
So I mean, in a way you had told, but still you have kind of explained, but still I wanted to give a little bit of push on that. Like what actually really kind of push you, to, okay, I can get back to this life. I can, achieve that what I wanted to, your dream, what is the aspect or elements or, person or I don't know what it is, or within what it came you to push to go forward with the same
Yeah.
old Paul.
I maintain that it was the mountains
Yeah.
that I climbed that taught me so much about what I was capable of. Taught me it taught me so much about determination, and yeah, you have to be patient as well to this strange mixture of determination and patience that you have to climb a mountain, just to endure the punishment that the mountain mets out. And so I maintain that that's what gave me the will to get back on my feet and to then. And I was also I was a climber when I started, and I just wanted to get back to so climbing. My climbing life was normal to me, and so I just wanted to get back to normality. That's the same as if you were a cook, a chef, and you wanted to get back to cooking great meals again, then you would find a way. And so I just found a way to get back to my life, I think.
That's beautifully put it together. And Paul's brother is here, David. But I would love to hear your thoughts, David, when he was going through all these things as a big brother, what you were going through, how you were looking at him, his struggle, his being, and as a big brother, how you supported, or how the family, how everything gone. It would be really great to hear your thought. I mean, after all, the support system, within the family, outside from the government, everything really matters in that case.
Yeah. Well, when we heard about Paul's accidents, I mean, he was on the other side of the world, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I personally, I just felt so helpless.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. No?
I'm sorry.
we both cry a lot.
Crying is healthy. You know, brave people cries.
Yeah.
You know, only people who is really weak, they try to hide their tears. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, David, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it was, for me, it was just so upsetting. So upsetting. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, even now thinking about it, it hurts. Thinking they might die, you know. So, yeah.
So
Sorry.
this is the first time that me and David have done something like this. So
Yeah.
so it's a really important. It's just so amazing. Yeah. And this is the first time that David's
Yeah.
done anything like this in the mountains. Really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's very, very precious.
Yeah, life is not easy, but if you determine, if you want to really, catch your dream, and if you are, you can find a way. And Paul is a great example. We can do it, no matter what, we can do it. Um, yeah, we all go through ups and downs and all these things. Personally, if I talk about, I go into really deep shit, like depression, but I kind of come out, like we all do that.
Yeah, we do.
Sometimes we don't talk about it, sometimes we try to hide it, like to be really kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just sharing the thoughts, sharing the experience, that makes what, the stories is very important. And if you guys have no further questions, then I would like to end our session here. Once again, thank you, Paul, for being here with us, inspiring many people around the globe. You are amazing. Thank you. And Eli, thank you. And also, you have been looking up to your father, being there with you. It's just amazing. I really wish you all the, best in your life, father, and your short documentary. I'm looking forward to that. And also thank you, David, and thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And one more thing I would like to tell, this book, it is selling for $30, usual price, but for today it is 1,000 rupees. So buy a copy, and also this could be a very inspirational book written by Paul. If you want to gift someone or to have you someone, it's a great treasure. Thank you.
And also, if anybody wants to ask me any questions off the mic, then I'll be hanging around.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, that was good. Thank you.
Good. Yeah.